My name is Chris Askew. I am a producer, I'm a location manager. I just do all facets of production. But I'm talking to you today about locations, which I really think is an important part of any production, and it's a very, very underestimated part of production. One of the things I'll be talking to you all about today is about locations. Locations a lot of times is very underestimated in a production because you'll watch something and you might not realize just how important what you see is a very integral and important part of what you feel. We're going to talk today about how to do a part of a TV show or a movie or a film. We're talking about it. Something somebody says might inspire you. You might see someone doing something, jot it down, and just look at it later. So what I've been taught, that I'm starting to finally do, Nikki told me this, I didn't do it, but now I'm doing it. Jot these things down and review it at the end of the day. You know, some of the stuff you might want to go deeper on it. You know what? That network online thing was a really good idea. That could really connect people. And you know what? I'm just thinking Atlanta. This could be businesses all over the country, and then people can start talking. But I wasn't thinking, you know, video and all this stuff is doing, but any idea you have now at its birth does what? It grows. But in order for things to grow, what do you have to do? You got to feed it. Yeah, right. You got to nurture it. You got to feed it. So don't play with it. You know, if you have an idea you like, really start to see how you can feed it, what you can do, things of that nature. Now, locations, and the reason I said all of that is I've been blessed enough to work at CNN, and I started doing music videos, and then from that, I went back to school. For some reason, I got 2 master's degrees instead of 1. And when I came out of school, somebody asked me, this is gonna make LaRonda laugh, like Angie Bones said, Chris, I need you to come over here and just watch this set for me. So I did, and that's how I got into this part of what I'm doing. That easy, that's it. So a lot of times, as you go forward in life, a lot of times you're like, man, I really wanna do this, I really wanna do that. Do you think I knew anything about how to watch a set when she asked me to do that? No, I didn't, you know. You know what I did? I sat there with my arms crossed and said no a lot. I said no a lot, but every time something happened to me, you know what that was? It was an experience, right? So then I'd have people like, I'll explain this person to you later, Angie or LaRonda or Jim, who you just saw. I could ask them questions. Hey man, what's it mean when so-and-so and so? Or what happens when so-and-so and so? And they would tell me, you know, they would tell me. So the first part, and this is just me being me, is just being open to receive an opportunity when it comes. Because LaRonda and I were talking a minute ago, I've been able to work in California. There are tons of people in California trying to work. Tons, you know? So you have to figure out how do you differentiate yourself. One thing you have to always do is you have to be what? Dependable. If you say you're gonna do something, do it. If you say, Chris, I got you, I can do it. Or even if you said to me, Chris, you know what? I don't know how to do that, but I wanna learn. Be honest, you know? And I can't tell you I've always been honest. Yeah, I can do it. How do I do that? Because I just wanted to be in something. I just wanted to do it. But that is such an important part of it. And then when you get that opportunity, kill it. Do extremely well. And I really feel all of you can. Now locations, let me tell you about all the positions in the locations department, okay? Right now, I'm like a location supervisor and an associate producer. What that person does is I'm saying supposedly because I don't know everything. Supposedly, I'm overseeing everything. So if somebody wants to do something, they'll come ask me. If something's not right, they come ask me. Let me give you an example. There's a production that asked me to help them about a week and a half ago. I didn't want to, but I did. So when I got there, The first thing I noticed was where the crew was just throwing trash down. First thing I noticed. Now let me tell you what that does. Now I'll slide back to this. This is my word. Now let's say I'm filming somewhere in a park and they're doing this, okay? And like when I first met LaRonda or someone else, if she allows me to film at a park, when I'm done with the park, how does she expect the park to be? Right, like it was, better than it was, all right? And plus, now I've developed a relationship with this person. And as a location manager or assistant location manager, and I'll go into that, you're the one who's making these relationships with people in the city, you know? I'm gonna tell you all something, it's awesome, but Keisha, the mayor, I know the mayor because I filmed in her house. That's how I know her. I mean, but because we had a great relationship, now we still have a good relationship. I know her, but it's your word and how you leave things. My mom used to always tell me, whenever you go, wherever you go in life, you're leaving like a scent. Do you want people to go like this, or do you want people to enjoy the scent that you leave off with the memories or the experiences you have? Are you polite? Are you nice? Even if somebody's mean to you, how do you respond back? You know what? I apologize. I hope you have a good day. And walk off. You don't have to tell them or give them a piece of your mind. You don't have to do that. In this job, part of what you do is you have to smooth over a lot of things. One of the first things I ever worked on in the locations department was a movie called, I can't think of the name of it, but it had Darren DeWitt Henson in it and Callie Hawk. And we were filming, and I didn't know this then because I was new to the game, but somebody in the camera department was on top of the roof. I don't want to run into this because I might get in trouble, but they were on top of a roof filming. I didn't remember, I'm new. I didn't know. Remember y'all, I'm just like, no. But they're on top of the roof. So a man who owns the entire complex comes out and sees the person on top of the roof, and he's mad. Now, why do you think he was mad? Right. Well, safety. Think about this. And this is for you to learn, even as a producer or anything you do. If that person slips and falls off the roof, they're going to sue who? Right. They're not only going to sue the production, they can sue him for his build. It's just, it gets thick and deep, all right? So of course he's mad, okay? And I didn't know that they were on the roof, but I don't know a proper defense? No, because if I'm in charge of a set, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to know everything that's going on. And if it's going on and I don't know about it, then that's when you either stop people, y'all let me know, and the respect you get the first time something happens, and this is in life, you know something's gonna happen. And when people see how you react to it, they'll know how they can maneuver. You know what, before we do this, I better call Chris and let him know, even if you're not around. Now, I don't know if y'all saw me when I was back at the table, but I got 2 phone calls. I'm supposed to be doing something now, but guess what? They call me now to ask me, can they do something? Is this all right? We're gonna do this, because even if I'm not there, it's like a child, if you have children. You can't always see your children, but how you teach them, you want them to do what's right and proper. Remember what's at stake. We started that story off by being in the park. Let's say somebody wanted to have a bonfire in the park, and you didn't know about it. Bonfires have been set or whatever, and then 2 days later, you know where I'm gonna get a call from? The city. Was there an open fire in my park? That's happened before, not to me. But was there an open fire in my park? And so now, think about it, guys. You're in charge of everything. Is I don't know a good answer, or I didn't know, right? So how do you prevent that? You gotta know everything that's happening. You do. And the way to think of it, and I promise you, and the way I was able to do that and get better at what I do, is the entire crew are like my children. They really are. And you start to learn your children. You know, some children might go a little extra. some might not. But all that does, in whatever you attain and want to be in this industry, it teaches you how to look at multiple things at once, which is incredible. Now, there's a location supervisor. That's what I'm doing for this project. If something goes wrong with the project, I'll get a call from the city, because I'm supposed to, sort of like if your child does something, who's going to get the call? Right, it's going to be me. I'll get a call and they'll ask what's going on, or if a neighbor complains, I'll get a call from the city. There's also a location manager. A location manager usually handles all the permits. So if I want to film here, I'll have to go to the city. You usually have to pay a permit to film in the city. Now, let's say you want to film at a house because we want to film in the trunk of someone's car, because we want to film a scene of somebody being trapped in the trunk. Wherever we want to film that, remember, it's not just you filming it, it's the crew, right? The crew also has to have a place to park. That's called base camp. They also have to have a place to eat. That's called catering. So all of these things, the location manager has to think about. But location manager is in charge of the whole crew. There's an assistant location manager. What the assistant location manager does is they're on set a lot. They help enforce things also. But as a location manager, your job is to care about the house for them. So that's where we are. You have to cover the floors, you have to handle the schedules, you have to get permits, and this is the assistant location manager. There's also someone on the locations team, guys, called a location coordinator. The coordinator on bigger projects, like if we're doing a project with Steven Spielberg or Bruce Willis or someone like that, you have a location coordinator. So they're the ones who would talk to the city, but they will be directed by the location manager. So you have a group meeting and they go do it. Now, when I say permits, it's permits to film like in a park, permits to film on the street, permits to actually be in a city filming. So it's quite a few things that they have to make sure they do. In addition, when you're filming, this is a bit thick, but when you're filming, you also have to do things like you have to get a toilet. You have to, that's why I say you're really like the parent, because all these people have to do what? They have to eat, they have to use the bathroom, and they have to work. And whenever they do what they do, like children, it's the most important thing ever. They don't care about, well, it's not working, well, where can I go to the bathroom? They want to just go to the bathroom, they just want to work. So you have to provide all of these things for them. It's a fascinating thing, and I can honestly tell you, I've been able to do a lot of positions, but working in locations is really one of the most all-inclusive things you can imagine. It really is. The director, you can just do what you do. It has to be beautiful, but you can kind of, but you got to work with everybody with locations. Now, also you have a location assistant. What a location assistant does is they're pretty much almost like a PA. They're also called a location PA. So they're always on a set. They'll put the carpet down. They'll change the toilet paper if you need them to. They'll be on set to make sure the things that the location supervisor puts down the ladder is done. So one person is to make sure all that stuff happens. So when you watch a movie, and I wish I could have you all on the set, when you watch it and you see all these things happening, everybody's doing their own thing, But that's what happens in that department. And that department is responsible for wherever you're going to film. But with the location guys, you have a camera truck, you have to park all of these things. So if we went on a field trip and we were going to do your dream, and let's say we had to have a house, and let's say you have that scene that we know is going to be the pivotal scene in our production, which is going to be you being in the trunk, we have to have what? A car, which is another whole department, but I'll talk about that later. You have to have a car and a driveway, or a place where people can do what? Because it's not just what we're seeing, you have to now, as a locations person, think about all the stuff that goes on around this one shot that everybody might not see. So there might be a shot of the car in the driveway, but we might actually film a scene on a soundstage, because you got to have a scene. You got to have people around. You got to have people lifting the car up, putting the camera up under here. Just all types of stuff that has to go on. So you have to do all of those things. So you have the location, and the location is very important. One thing, and I talked to Jim about it, is you also have to think in terms of the crew. If you have 100 people have to do what? They have to use the bathroom, right? I don't like for people to use the bathroom in other people's house. If you had a film crew come in your house, would you want 150, 200 people using your bathroom? I want y'all to notice how fast she answered that question. No. Watch how fast she answers this question. There are a lot of film companies that will not worry about getting away for the crew to use the bathroom. They'll want to use the bathrooms in the house. So you have to have a porta potty, all right? There's so many things that have to happen on a film set that the location team has to do.